Hi, welcome to another White Line video. Today we're going to talk about agility ladders. So, your agility ladder will come in a nice red bag, easy to transport. Zip her up, pull the ladder out, and the ladder will come apart very nicely. Lay it down on the floor. And you have your agility ladder. So the rungs, they can move, so you can change the distance between the rungs if you'd like, but they're fairly firm in place so that they won't move around on you when you're using the ladder, and they'll stay in place when you put the ladder away and take it apart again. Let's go through some patterns. What we like to encourage when you're starting out using the agility ladder is to focus on consistency in the step pattern before you worry about things like speed. So we'll start with a very basic ladder step. It's called the Icky shuffle, where you're going to start with 2 feet inside the ladder, and you're going to step out, and step in, and then in again. And you just repeat that pattern all the way down the ladder. Now, what I'm not worried about is going really fast in one direction and then slowing down and making it a very jerky or inconsistent movement pattern. I want to get nice consistency in my legs, like I'm going to the beat of music, and then I can get speed over time. So it'll look something like this. And you would go all the way through the ladder. What I'm focusing on when I'm doing my ladder patterns is staying nice and soft in the legs. So I'm going to be mostly on my toes or the balls of my feet. My heels are very soft on the floor if touching at all. I have a slight bend at my knees and at my hips. The lower I am, the more challenging it will be through my quadricep muscles. So that is a way to challenge yourself over time. And also keeping in mind that a lot of patterns are not symmetrical left to right. So if you notice this Icky shuffle pattern, I'm starting with my right leg out, and then the left leg is following, and then my right leg's in, and then the left leg is following. So it's an asymmetrical pattern. So generally what we would do is we would do leading with one leg, one direction, maybe starting with my right leg first, and then the left leg following. And then when I turn around and go back the other way, now I'm going to lead with my left leg first, followed by the right. And now we're leading with both legs in opposite directions. Some patterns are symmetrical left to right, in which case you don't need to worry about switching up your leg pattern. All right, so we'll go through a couple other ladder patterns. All right, our next ladder pattern we're going to go through is the Manhattan back crossover. This one's a little bit trickier, so try to follow along. I'm going to start beside the ladder, and my verbal cueing is going to be beside, cross, and wide. Wide is in a wide step far away from the ladder. So I'm going to start with my inside leg. I'm stepping beside the ladder, crossing to the back, hence the name the back crossover, and then I'm going to step wide. So a nice far step away from the ladder, which makes room for my left leg to come back beside for the next step. And that's the whole pattern, it's 3 steps. So we repeat again. Beside, cross, wide, beside, cross, wide, beside, cross, wide, and repeat. Once you've got the movement pattern down, you might get a little bit more speed involved. And that's the Manhattan back crossover. All right, our next ladder pattern is called the partner ball shuffle. So, Dean is going to be my trainer in this case, or my partner. He's going to be passing the balls back. Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's going to be passing the ball back and forth to me, while we're going to be alternating back and forth with the balls as I go through the ladder pattern. DJ could do it with me, but we'll get pretty close and it might get a little, well, it might not end well. So he's going to stay outside the ladder, I'm going in. My feet are just going in and out. in that pattern as we pass back and forth, and I'll do a little bit more of a scissor step on the way back just for some variety. Ready to go?
I hope so.
I hope so too. Here we go. And we'll scissor step on the way back.
Awesome. There we go.
Yeah. All right, our next pattern is going to be high stepping. So the idea behind this pattern is nice full range of motion at the hips and the knees. Nice and quick transition, so we're working on our speed here. And also get the arms involved. That will help play with a little bit more velocity through the pattern. So both feet will go in the run or in each square all the way down. So it's going to be here, whoops, here, to here, to here. And then repeat. You could switch your leading leg on this one as well, so that the opposite leg starts in each square. So here we go. And that's it. Our next ladder pattern, we're going to go into the over-under rainbow. All right, I'm going to lead with my left leg because I'm traveling to my left on the ladder. When I come back, I'm going to lead with my right leg because I'm traveling right. So I'm going to step in the ladder with the left foot, in the ladder with the right foot, over the ladder with the left foot, over the ladder with the right, and then I go backwards back to my starting position. So nice and slow on the way down. In, over, over, in, under, under. Get the arms going as well once you get a little bit more speed. And that's our over-under rainbow. On the way back, make sure you stay facing the same direction so that you're going in the opposite direction. And that's our over-under rainbow. Next one we'll go into is a skater shuffle. This is a 3-step pattern. The verbal cueing here is in, out, in, out. So start on the outside. You're going to go into the ladder with your inside leg, into the ladder with the second leg, step out, and you're not going to step out with the trailing leg. That leg is going to restart the pattern in the square, in the next square up. In, out, in, out. And as always, you can get a little bit more speed once you have the pattern down, or you can work on explosiveness with a little bit of a pause. So I'll do a bit of both. Here's the speed. If I want to add the pause, so depending on what you want to focus on. What we're going to go through is called bunny hopping or lateral hopping. I'd encourage you to start with 2 legs first. Once you're comfortable bilateral, then you can pick 1 foot up and do single leg. So I'll go one way, double leg, I'll come back single leg, and you want to make sure you do both legs single leg to balance your 2 sides out. So I'm going to start with your feet together. You're going to hop into the square, and then to the outside of the ladder, and then back the other way. And single leg. It's also known as slalom hopping or bunny hopping. All right, next pattern. We're gonna go into the split hop. Very similar to the bunny hop, but you're not traveling as far laterally. So 1 foot starts in, 1 foot starts out. Switch to the other side. You always have 1 foot in the ladder. And then you move up to the next square. Over, up. This one is slightly asymmetrical, so you want to try and switch which leg you hop into the next square with first. if you can remember to do so. And that's our split hop. All right, next one. I'm getting more tired here. Next one's called a touch and go. Touch and go is what we'll call it. So, you start on the outside of the ladder. You're going to cross over your outside leg to touch inside the ladder, and then you're going to step back out. So your outside leg keeps going like this, all the way down. Your inside leg just keeps walking beside the ladder the whole time. Okay, so here it is. A little bit more speed. And then you would want to stay on the same side of the ladder as you go back, so you're working the second side. You could do that exact same pattern inside the ladder if you'd like. And repeat through. So that's the touch and go. Okay. Next pattern. We're going to go into the 90-degree box turn, or as I like to call it, 90-degree square dancing. So both your feet will remain parallel together the whole time as you face each different direction in the pattern. You'll start one foot in, one foot out, facing down the ladder. You're going to hop. So both feet are in the ladder. Now you're facing sideways. You're going to hop again. Now I'm on the opposite side that I started on, facing down the ladder. Hop again to face the opposite side. And here we go. Nice and slow. That's the 90-degree box step. What did I call it?
Square dance.
90-degree square dance. It's not my favorite. All right. Next one, another very popular one is your basic in-outs. So we're going to start both feet in the ladder, get down into a semi-squat position. The lower you are, the harder it will be. You're going to jump out with both feet, and then jump in with both feet. Nice and light on the feet. Try to keep the head parallel. Another important part on this one here is that you want to pay attention to what you're doing with your knees. So what we don't want to see is the knees crashing in like this. Try to have a little bit better support through your lower body by making sure the knees follow the toes or the feet on the way out. So the knees are tracking over the feet here. Knees are tracking over the feet here. The whole way down. Okay, that's our in-outs. Our next one is the lateral pivot step. Your leading foot will stay inside the ladder the entire time. Your trailing leg is going to be touching in front and behind consistently or continually. So here we go. Nice and slow. This works on a little bit of pivoting or rotation in both directions at the hips. So good for agility work, changing directions. Stay facing the same way, opposite feet in the ladder, or opposite foot in the ladder, opposite foot pivoting. Notice that the hips are doing some rotation here. So it's as if I'm getting ready to turn my whole body to change direction in a sport or on a field. And that's our lateral pivot step. Okay. All right, our next pattern is less to do with agility and more to do with just developing either leg strength or endurance. Call it either the duck walk or the low walk. And so it's nice and slow, and the lower you go, the more challenging it will be. So we're gonna start inside the ladder, both feet together, dropping down. Then we step out and in and in. This one is not symmetrical. I'm leading again with one leg, so opposite way, try to lead with the opposite leg. I'm also tracking my knees out. I'm not letting the knees crash in here. So knees in, knees out. Try to stay nice and level, like you're holding a glass of non-alcoholic beverage on the head. And that is our low walk or duck walk. A couple different patterns we can do in the upper body. First one is just a standard sideways hand walk or lateral hand walk. So I'm going to get down into a push-up position. Try to keep the shoulders over the hands. Body is nice and long. I'm going to cross, bring my hands together and separate the legs. And then hands wide, feet together. Hands are going into each square all the way down. Try to keep the body in a nice plank position. And then repeat the opposite way. I'm going to show a little bit of a different timing with my hands and feet on the way back. So first time the hands are together, feet were wide. This time we're going to do feet and hands wide, feet and hands together. So out, together, apart, together. The next one is called Edward Scissor Hands.
It's a good thing this isn't live, like we get 1 million views for sure, at least.
We might start that way, and then we'd end up with 4 by the end. All right, Edward Scissor Hands. So our hands are doing a scissor pattern through the ladder as our body travels sideways in a push-up position. That part didn't make sense, so I'll just show it. One hand in, one hand out. The hands are switching back and forth as we travel down the ladder. So here we go. And that's our Edward Scissor Hands. Make sure you go back the other way. That's a few of our ladder patterns for today. Thank you very much for watching. You can subscribe down low at the link to get access to the rest of our videos. Thank you very much for your time. We're White Line Athletic.